He was born in Israel, raised in Kuwait, and moved to the United States at the age of 19. And this country hasn't been quite the same since. He's a regular on the TV show Bananas, and he travels the United States with his Proud to Be an American tour. Please welcome to the 700 Club, America's favorite immigrant, Nazareth. Glad to have you here.
Wow. You know, I am from the Middle East, but ever since September 11, I feel so Mexican. You know, I almost missed my connection flight last night coming here because you have to understand, I cannot run at the airport anymore. I don't know. But you know what? When I do men's conferences, I like to tell these people, you know what? I'm from California and my governor can beat your governor anytime. Actually, I was born in Israel, in the Holy Land. My name is Nazareth, and it's a family tradition to name you after the city you're born in. I feel sorry for my brother, Waikiki. My other brother, Albuquerque. And my sister, Buffalo. But I grew up in Kuwait and moved here. And last week, I was doing a marriage conference, and one guy took me to the zoo in Kentucky. I paid $20 to see an elephant, a camel, a bull, and a donkey. In my country, that's a car dealership. But you know what? I am so proud to be an American. This is still the greatest nation on earth where you get your choice. I went to buy some groceries one day, and the guy said, "You want paper or plastic?" Choice. Went to get some coffee. He said, "Regular or decaf?" Choice. Got out of the airport, this guy with a gun. He said, "You want to give me your wallet or I'll shoot you?" Choice. And you know, when I minister at churches around the country, pastors bring me to breakfast. They always want to take me to breakfast. And I found something about you Americans. You're the only people in the world who can take French toast, English muffin, Canadian bacon, and call it the all-American breakfast. See, I love this country because this country introduced me to Jesus Christ, who changed my life completely. And I was single when I gave my life to Christ, and I wanted a godly wife. And I didn't know how to meet a godly wife. What's my pickup line going to be? "Oh, I agape you, you weaker vessel. You look hotter than the lake of fire." "Oh, look, you got your glorified body already." But see, it was difficult. And you know, singles conferences, people come to me, they struggle with the same thing. To keep yourself pure until marriage. I said, "God, I want a beautiful wife with a rich father that memorized the entire Bible. But let your will be done." And I waited and I kept myself pure. In 1995, my father was dying. He said, "Son, would you go to the Gaza Strip for me?" I'm like, "Why? The Gaza?" He said, "Just go for me." So I went after he passed away, and the first night I'm there, I'm with my cousin, his fiancée, and her sister, and I'm sharing Jesus Christ with them. And my cousin goes, "Don't listen to him, he's a born-again Christian." Her sister said, "Me too." I said, "Wow, would you like to marry me?" She goes, "I've been praying for a believer to come to this side of the world. Let me fast for 3 days, I'll get back to you." 3 days later, she came back, she goes, "I'm starving, let's do it." Yes, God answered my prayers, and we got married a year later. I brought her to this country for the first time, took her to her first amusement park, Macy's. And then a year and a half later, God blessed us with a baby boy. We named him Newport Beach. Thank you very much for allowing me to be with you. Thank you, Terry.
I want to ask you, Nazareth, I know that when you first came to this country and you first started out in comedy, your act wasn't as clean cut as it is today. You were really kind of living the fast life. How did Jesus get a hold of your heart?
You know, a friend of mine invited me to church, and I was into the lifestyle that I thought would make me happy, and I was miserable. And he introduced me to church, and I liked the pastor, so I followed him around. And when, you know, and everybody was telling me about Jesus Christ at the time. Like, "You need Jesus, you need Jesus." And then I gave my life to the Lord and just turned around, and God said, "I want you to do this for me now."
Now, a lot of people would be intimidated to be so bold to someone coming from the Middle East. Were you offended when people said that you needed Jesus or asked you if you wanted to know more about it?
No, because I was going through the emptiness stage. I was empty. And I knew I needed something more, something different.
And how did God change your life, Nazareth?
Oh, completely, from the garbage to walking with Him every day. It's not easy, but it's a struggle every day to walk with the Lord. But you know that the Holy Spirit of God is strengthening you. And you know, just to think that 15 years later, I'm going to death row prisons. I'm talking to youth. I'm talking to singles and married couple and telling them about Jesus Christ. It's a complete change in my life.
You know, you right now are doing your Proud to Be an American tour. Why do you do that, and what does it mean to you? You joke around a lot about the difference between where you grew up and now where you're living. Tell us about your heart for America now.
You know, I've noticed lately a lot of people are not, they're complaining about this country. This is still the best place to be. This is the greatest nation on earth. And there's a movement in this country of people who want to say that. I'm proud to be an American. So when we do this concert, people just come and say, thank you for doing this. Because a lot of people are just taking it for granted, and it's making me sick. Because you know what? Patriotism is not just waving a flag. You know, when I do men's conference, said, you love this country, you be faithful to your wife. You stay away from pornography. You be the man that God called you to be. When I talk to youth, I said, you love this country, you commit your life to Jesus Christ. If you're a married couple, you love this country, you work on your marriage, you stay with your kids. That's patriotism. That's what makes our country great. And that's my message. As long as God called me for this, I'm going to tell people, hey, you are so privileged to live in this country.
What's your heart for where God's taking you in the future? What's God speaking to you? What do you want to do?
I've been praying last year about, God, how can I medicate people with laughter? How can I tell them how wonderful this country is, and how can I lead them to Jesus Christ? And the whole Proud to Be an American concert came out of that. And we do just exactly that. Because you know what? You have 7 children. Yes. And when you go to a concert, to see your teenage kids laughing, normally you don't see that at home. They're always asking for stuff. And for them to see...
You've been in my house.
Yes. And for them to see you laugh at the same thing, they don't. Your mom is always telling them, do this, don't do that, and don't do that. So it's nice to see the family laughing together. And I can make people laugh, but I can't give them joy. So I lead them to Christ.
Amen.
And
a merry heart doeth good like a medicine.
Amen.
I want to mention that the Bananas DVD from your performances is available on CBN.com, and we would love to have people visit our website and find out more about that. Nazareth, thank you so much. You've been a great joy to us today. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Well, can a smart person believe in God? That's the question physicist Michael Gilleen asked and answers. Hear how this former ABC News science reporter once put his faith on the back burner, and what finally convinced him that faith and science are completely compatible. That's next week on the 700 Club. And then today, the moment our studio audience has been waiting for, their chance to put Pat on the hot seat. So right after this, we'll... Woo, you guys are good.
Centuries before his birth, ancient prophets foretold his coming. The scriptures described how he would live and die. His life changed history. His death changed eternity. Now you can read for yourself the evidence that proclaims Jesus as the Messiah. Call now or log on for your copy of The Passion, Prophecy Fulfilled. It will build your faith and prepare you to share his message.